Ann and I were in the back asking each other, who's going next? And I said, I think it's me. So, and then I didn't see my slide, so I'm like, I don't know who it's supposed to be. So I'm Craig Motasky. I run the wastewater operator certification program for the state, so I just wanted to give you a couple very brief updates because not much has changed with it, but it's always good to update. So a new wastewater exam notice went out yesterday. Thank you, Ann, for doing that. I did to her what I hate, what people do to me is last minute. I'm like, Ann, can you get this out? And she's the only one who has authority to access to mailing these things and putting them on the website. So we put out a new notice yesterday. We put one out every October 1st. And they run to September 30th of the following year. And usually what happens, and it happened this year, is people will read the old exam notice and see that it's going to expire, so they're contacting me in a panic that they won't be able to get their application in before it expires. And it does, I mean, it does expire, but the very next day there's a new exam notice, so it never ends. We can continue accepting applications, and the only caveat is right now, after this new exam notice went out yesterday, any of the applications we receive now are for the 2025 exam year. So if you submit an application anytime from here through September 30th of next year, it's for the 2025 calendar year. So again, we're still holding exams, so anybody who has previously applied, you can continue sitting through the end of this year. And just a reminder that if you fail your exam, you can sit again every 90 days without having to reapply to DEEP through the calendar year. So keep that in mind. You don't have to reapply to us. Once you've applied for that particular exam, if you fail, you can sit again 90 days later without reapplying to DEEP. That's kind of where we go there. So normally, I'll do my operator count. I'm going to wait until, I guess Jeff was saying that the next meeting is in February. That's when I'll give everybody the overview of how many examinees we had this year and how many passed and failed, but I know some people are interested in numbers. So right now, our operator count is we have 270 Class 1, 197 Class 2, 185 Class 3, and 149 Class 4. And those are solid numbers, and I can tell you without getting into the specifics, which I will get into in February, is that we had a really good year, good turnout, fairly typical, but actually on the high side of examinees this year, particularly with the Class 1 operators, which is always good because those are the people getting into the field who are going to work their way up. And then the number I always want to point out, it's my little mini soapbox, is the Class 4 examinee operators. We have 149, which is a really solid amount. I know there's often, people will talk about we don't have them and what's going on and we're losing them. And yeah, people retire, but we constantly have people sitting for that Class 4 exam and becoming Class 4 certified, and it's a solid number, so I'm happy to see that. I know it's difficult to get them to go from where they are to maybe where you need them if you want them at your plant, but they do exist. And so kind of speaking about Class 4s, that leads into this. We were at the management leadership program Jeff was talking about a few weeks ago, and I spoke on direct responsible charge, and we thought it would be a good idea to bring it up now as a reminder to any operators here who ultimately want to go for their Class 4 certification. So Class 4 certification is unique in that Class 1, 2, and 3, as long as you meet the education requirement for that exam, you can sit for it. Class 4 is unique in that you have to meet all of the requirements before you can sit for it. So you have to meet the education requirement and the experience requirement and this thing called direct responsible charge, or DRC. DRC is when you've been given authority to make independent process control changes at your facility, but only a handful of people can accumulate DRC. And the only people who can accumulate it would be if you're a chief operator at a Class 3 facility, if you are a shift operator at a Class 4 facility, or a process control operator of a Class 4 facility, and a process control operator accumulates DRC at a rate of 50%. So it would take that person 4 years to get 2 years of DRC. So the regulation about this, and this is the kind of the important part of what I'm talking about here, is direct responsible charge experience shall not start to accumulate for such chief shift or process control operator until the date the commissioner receives such notification from the owner. So that's important. A person doesn't start accumulating it until the state is notified that a person is in that role. And as I said at the leadership program, if I've worked with, I know a lot of you here, I'll bend over backwards for people to, within the confines of the regulation, to snake our way through to help you reach your certification goals. Sometimes it's not easy and we have to be flexible, but this is one where I can't. It's black and white that if we haven't been notified that you're in that role, there is nothing I can do to go back and give it to you after the fact. And I've seen people in situations where they apply for their Class 4 exam because they thought they were getting this direct responsible charge experience, and I have no record of it, and there's nothing I can do. So now they thought they had this 2 years of DRC, when in reality they don't have any because of this reg here. So please, if you're in a position where you think you're getting DRC, reach out to me and just confirm it. That's the best way. Don't even just go to your employer, because they may think they notified me or thought they did and you think you're good. Contact me directly and we can verify it for you so you don't miss out. This is the form, the Chief Shift Operator Verification form that I will get notification on, and that's the form you need to be on. So you want to be familiar with this form, make sure you've signed it, and make sure it's been turned in to me. And again, verify with me that it's been turned in to me. And you'll be in good shape. So that's it for DRC. So again, anybody here, reach out to me if you think you're getting DRC. It's really important to make sure that I have notification of that. And that is all I have. So I think Ann is now up.